Hey guys, it's Erica Galinas with Century 21 Affiliate in Cherville, Indiana, here for our weekly market update. This week we're going to be talking about Munster, and actually, Happy New Year. We're going to be talking about 2021 numbers versus 2020, so we can see the changes in that market over the past year. So 2021 in all of Munster, this is every kind of house from a small condo to $1 million mansion. We sold 417 properties. Average sales price of $340,306. Average days on market was 17 days. So we all know about the hot market. Munster is kind of a unique market because, like I said, it has all kinds of houses. There's a bunch of condos that were built in the 70s and 80s. Now there's this new Centennial project, which we'll talk more about. Obviously, we have big giant mansions and $1 million homes and everything like that. So there's all big spectrum in Munster. And obviously, Munster's been a hot market for decades due to the location, school system, things like that. So 2021, we sold 417 homes. There were actually $3 million plus homes sold as part of that. We haven't seen as much $1 million home activity as we have seen in more, standard residential type, 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranches or something like that. The range of homes sold in Munster, as a testament to their diversity, is the cheapest one was $80,000 for a little 2-bedroom, 1-bath condo. The most expensive one was $1.6 million. So again, that's a huge range, and it averaged out to about $340,000. So comparing that to 2020, in 2020, so now 2 years ago, we sold 407 houses, so about the same amount of houses. Average price $295,000, average days on market 49 days, and again, that range of houses sold, the cheapest one was there's a $68,000 condo that was sold, and then again, the high end was a $1.6 million house in Munster. So in terms of how much we sold, it's about the same. In terms of the kinds of houses we sold, almost exactly the same. But the big difference is the jump in price and the average days on market. So we went from 340,000 average down 295. I wish to do this the other way. In 2020, we went from 295,000 average to $340,000 average sales price. That's a difference of about $45,000, which is a 15% market jump year to year, which is absolutely an indication of a hot market. Raising prices that quickly, just over 365 days, is a pretty significant difference. Days on market, again, we have that same thing. In 2020, average days on market, so the time from when a house is listed until it has a buyer, was 49 days. That dropped to 17 days in 2021. So that's a difference of almost a month. Average market, average home time, usually is about a month. So Munster in 2020 was a little bit more than a month, and not by a whole lot. I don't think it matters. But we dropped to 17 days on average, which means that, there must have been a number of houses on the market for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days to balance out some houses that were on the market for 100 days or something like that. Usually higher end homes or homes that are distressed for some reason. That is a pretty big jump, and it's in line with the Cherville numbers we talked about. It's in line with the market updates I did all last year, kind of seeing this slow, steady rise in the market from 2022, and then obviously before that. Looking forward in Munster, it's interesting, not as a tremendous difference in Cherville as we saw, but we'll go through this. So the active listings in Munster right now, there's 24, which happens to be exactly the same number as they're in Cherville. And obviously, we're in a wintertime market, which is always a little slower. It's been, snowing and 20 degrees below zero. Nobody really wants to move. But 24 actives, 7 condos and townhouses. 3 of those are those Centennial condos we talked about. I think 4 actually are those Centennial condos. 16 are single family homes. Of that 16, 4 of those qualify as like $1 million house. So again, that's a very niche market. So when you go to just, again, regular 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch homes, there's really only, 10 or 12 listed right now. The average list price is $331,908. Average days on market, 34 days. I pulled out those new constructions, 28. So there isn't a big difference there. So comparing these current active listings to the 2021 market numbers, we're actually about right on track. The average price in 2021 was $340. The average listing is $331,900. So, that's not a big difference there. It doesn't indicate there's a big market drop or anything, but there's not a tremendous difference between these listings that are expecting this dollar amount but things are actually closing right here. It doesn't look like we have that sweep. In terms of average days on market, 28 versus 17. Again, those are still very good market numbers when compared to an average, average market or a buyer's market for sure. I don't know that in Cherville we're going to see, in Munster we're going to see the same things that we saw in Cherville, where, compared to what's listed right now to last year, people are listing very high and hang out on the market longer than normal. And Munster looks like everybody's still on the same plan. Everybody's on the same page. Sellers are not being as optimistic about their listing prices, perhaps. Buyers are not being as anxious as they were in different towns, perhaps. So it's more of a level market, these numbers are showing in Munster as opposed to Cherville. Again, not that there's anything wrong with Munster or Cherville or great about one or the other, just it's interesting to see those two different markets with very similar housing stock. Again, condos, $1 million homes, everything in between. Cherville is seeing a little bit of a slowdown versus what Munster is seeing. If I had to guess, it's based on location. Anytime you get closer to downtown Chicago or, the Naperville, western, southwestern suburbs, you're going to see higher prices. That's just how it is because the people moving here are generally from Illinois. Pending. So these are current pendings, haven't closed yet. So we won't have final numbers on them. There are 42 pending listings in Munster right now. 14 condos and townhouses. Again, 9 of those I think are the condos and Centennial. 28 single family homes. There's $1 million home listed right now that's under contract waiting to close, which is a little bit of a better record than Cherville. Average list price, $337,000. Average days on market, 11. So that kind of puts us right directly in between where we are with our actives and with our closed, which makes perfect sense and is about exactly where we want to be. So Munster's nice and stable right now. This is really good news. There is a lot more older population in Munster and the custom homes they built, by Wicker Park and all those different kinds of areas. Generally, those types, they don't have kids in school, they don't have to worry about any of that, and they do not want to move in wintertime. So we will probably see a change in these numbers as things get warmer and people who don't need to sell need to, start selling because they want to sell and move to Florida or whatever it is. Nice stable market in Munster. All these numbers line up, bam, bam, bam. 35 or 15% jump is a really nice jump. It's not crazy out of control. It doesn't look like our active sellers are asking for the moon for their houses. Everybody seems to be pretty level. I did say, and I've talked about this all last year on these Munster updates, they have closed a townhouse condo in the Centennial building. This is the big building on Calumet by Centennial Park. It's like a lifestyle center, and there's offices and shops and all these condos. So they finally closed one. So we actually have a number to look at. They closed a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo, 1,400 square feet. I don't think they have, some of them have what they call Juliet balconies, which don't really have much balcony space, but there are like patio doors you can open with a little railing. You can't do a whole lot out there. So 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo, 1,400 square feet in this lifestyle building, sold for $468,346, which also includes 2 parking spaces in the underground garage, so that counts. The parking spaces were $28,960 each. So at least, what would that be? I don't know, over $50,000 of that $468,000 were spent on these 2 parking spaces. I'm not sure what I think. Like I said, I've been waiting all year to see what these things are closing at. I scoffed a little bit to be like, I don't know that this is really the housing market we have in Northwest Indiana, even though we're very close to Chicago. I don't know that we quite have that kind of housing market. $468,000 for 1,400 square foot condo. A wave of the future, perhaps. There are also 8 pending of these, so we will see these close over the next couple months. They are listed in between $250,000 for a 1-bedroom, 1-bath condo. I think it's about 1,000 square feet, all the way up to $463,000. And again, we won't see what those close for until they actually close to see where those numbers end up. We won't see if there's additional $30,000 parking spaces along with these. It's a beautiful building and it's a super neat concept. Obviously, they didn't think of it, on their own. These exist in all kinds of urban areas all over the country, but it's interesting to see something like this built in Northwest Indiana because this is so unlike most of the housing we've ever had in this area. That's one of the reasons why I was so interested to see where they would end up. I don't know what I think. On the one hand, I'm like, what are you, crazy? $468,000 for this condo? But you know what? They sold it. Somebody paid for it. It's a beautiful building. It's a super neat concept. You know, I would prefer like more of a walkable downtown, but I mean, you just take the elevator down to the gym and the coffee shop and the this and the that, and it'll be interesting to see if something like this is built again in the next, 5 to 10 years in this area. I can't think of too many areas where something like this would be appropriate in Northwest Indiana. Munster is perfect, more because of the location close to Chicago. We have Crown Point, Valpo have downtowns, but they also have a ton of land around them. And most people are not necessarily going to want to be that far from downtown Chicago and live in a, $500,000 condo. So this is a very unique project. It's selling. Like I said, I'm a little shocked at these numbers, but people are buying them. It's my understanding they don't have a lot of active. They had 3 active listings. So presumably they're, finishing these one at a time, but 8 pending. I mean, they're selling these. So we'll keep an eye on those and obviously see if that's something that takes off in this area. We have towns that absolutely are close to downtown Chicago in the same way that Munster is. And, a town like Dyer is running out of land to build new construction, even duplex communities and stuff like that. So we'll see if another one of these takes off. It's going to be pretty interesting in the future. Munster market update. Everything seems great. Nice and stable. It's everything we want. Still super active, but not out of control. Munster certainly looks like they're going to have a great 2022. And again, we'll see in the spring, once we see these listings hit the market. Hopefully, there's a lot of listings hitting the market because that's a problem right now. But yeah, we'll see. If you have any questions, if you know somebody who lives in Munster or is thinking of moving to Munster or maybe interested in checking out these amazing condos, please call me, text me anytime, 219-765-2062. You can also email me at hsbyerica@gmail.com. Again, if you know someone in Munster who's, just lives there, is interested in home values, please share this video with them and always like and subscribe to my channel. I do these once a week. Next week we're talking about Dyer. I just mentioned them. So we'll see. Kind of the interesting about Dyer is their new construction situation. So we'll see what's going on in Dyer from year to year. I'm pretty sure we're going to see a significant price jump there as well. So if you need anything or just general questions, I work all over the Northwest Indiana area. Like I said, call, text 219-765-2062. Comment down below or send me a private message. I check those all the time. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Hey guys, I'm glad you're enjoying my videos. If you have any questions about buying or selling, but I'm not in your area, I have connections to an international network of realtors who would be happy to help. Give me a call, text me anytime, 219-765-2062. I'll be happy to give you the name of a realtor in your area. Thanks.